What's going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Real Hunting. We're only up for the good reels so you don't have to. It's your boy Brad, the Britman's over here. Chris is underneath us. No Time to Die came out a couple weeks ago, last week, whenever it was. It was, I think it was last week. And so that means it's time to rank Daniel Craig movies, and that's what we're here to do today. If you have not seen our review series of the Daniel Craig James Bond movies, we'll put a link for those over Brett's head. Whole playlist. We've had a lot of fun times with it, including No Time to Die. And we're going to wrap it up now, at least for the time being. Bond will return on our channel, but at this point, we're going to go ahead and rank Daniel Craig's James Bond movies and put a bow on it for now. Boys, I am excited about it because things got interesting.
Oh, yeah. And I can't wait to hear your all's rankings on this one, because there's almost like, in a way, no wrong answer. So I'm excited to really see what your all's ranking on this is.
There's definitely a wrong answer. I mean, if you rate Quantum number one, I mean, that's a wrong answer. You know what I'm saying?
How dare you, sir?
I know Quantum's not your number one.
Or is it?
All right.
I don't believe
but
so.
No, hey, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get down to the nitty gritty. So here's how we're going to do. Brad's going to go. I'm going to go. Chris is going to go. So, Brad, what is your number 5?
All right. The worst of the bunch, not that it's bad, but the worst of the bunch for me in last place is going to be Spectre. I thought this movie, I had a good time with it. It feels the most like a Bond movie of any in the bunch, but I thought this movie was rushed and felt like everybody, directors, actors, everything was on autopilot going through the first draft of the script.
Before this, I had okay, here we go. I know what my number 5 is going to be. It's obvious, but I'm going to pull a quick switcheroo. My number 5 is also going to be Spectre. Just because, pretty much what you said, it was rushed. It didn't have time to develop with the script. But I feel like if it had that time, it really could have been even more up there. Even maybe with some of the other ones, maybe. But again, it was rushed. Daniel Craig, easily his most unmotivated performance out of all of his movies. So Spectre at number 5.
I agree with both of those. Good points. My number 5 is actually going to be Casino Royale. And
no, get out of Dodge, man.
Spectre. Of course, it's Spectre. It's the least, and I have, we'll talk about it in a second. But yeah, Spectre for me, for all the reasons you guys mentioned before, not a lot to go into. It's just not there, I mean, and it's really, to be fair, it's compared to a lot of the films in the Brosnan era, it's a really good one, right? Mm-hmm. But compared to a lot of what happened in the Craig era, it is the least satisfactory of the bunch, I think, for everyone. So number 5, Spectre, of course.
That's crazy. I thought I was going to be the only one. I really did. But that's
no,
almost because, but as I hit the record button, I'm like, you know what? Let's just put Spectre at number 5. Brad, what is your number 4?
Number 4 for me is Skyfall. Skyfall. I thought it was pretty good, but I just had to see your face, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
no, me like that.
No, it's Quantum of Solace. I mean, I think this one and Spectre are both kind of in the same territory for me. But I think this one has a little bit more heart to it. I think Daniel Craig brings more to the role again. It serves as a really nice epilogue to Casino Royale, a nice companion piece, bonus material, extra content, whatever you want to say. On a standalone, it's not the greatest, but following up Casino Royale was never going to be an easy task. And I think this movie does a good job as kind of a sequel to that. And we see some more of what we liked about Craig in the first one. Again, it's rushed and writer strike, aside, I think they did a good job with it.
My number 4 is going to be, it's easily Quantum of Solace as my number 4, because I think it is probably the most underrated Bond movie, probably in the entire Bond franchise. I think it's easily the most underappreciated. It's a damn good, solid Bond movie, but its problem is it's going up against great competition with Casino, Skyfall, and No Time to Die, and that's a really tough task to try to compete with those movies. But if you really just try to ignore all that and focus on this movie, you have a good time, and you will also figure out James Bond's favorite fruit is strawberries.
Yeah, Daddy. Yeah, if you had asked me before we had gone back and done the review series before No Time to Die, I would have easily said Quantum was horrible. That it was awful. It was way worse than Spectre. But after I rewatched it, man, and especially after doing it in sequence, like Casino and then Quantum, I actually don't. I mean, it's a weaker entry into the Craig era, but it's not. It's I still have a good time with it upon rewatch. So I mean, of course, it's Quantum. Of course, I knew these bottom two were going to be the same pretty much for all of us. So yeah, it's Quantum for me, but it's actually really good. I don't. Well, it's good. I won't say it's really good, but much better than I remember it being. Let's say that.
I concur.
right.
If you would have asked me weeks ago before we did that, I would have said the same thing. The Spectre went a little bit down for me, and Quantum, like every time I watch it, it goes up for me. So it happened again here. You ready for the next one, Brett?
Yeah, let's go ahead and go to number 3.
Okay, so no time. I thought these top ones are going to be freaking solidified, ice cold, freaking stone cold in a rock in a tablet somewhere. You can't fuck with it. But then No Time to Die comes in here and shakes things up again and makes things interesting. I did not expect this to happen, ladies and gentlemen. But number 3 for me is actually this time Skyfall. This time around, and I never would have expected to put this anywhere higher than 2, lower than 2, I guess. Going into this last movie, but man, No Time to Die, I'm telling you, it came in and it blew my expectations away. And I'll talk about it more later, but it's, for me, the reason I put it over Skyfall, the reason Skyfall's at 3 instead of up higher is because I think Casino Royale and No Time to Die do a better job of exploring the character of James Bond. And that's what I like about these movies, the Craig movies in general, is that character study. And so that for that reason, Skyfall goes to 3, but it is still phenomenal, fantastic movie. That one of my top 6, 7 Bond movies in the franchise.
Alrighty. I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys know that this top 3, they are all pretty much fucking equal. Because I have all 3 of these movies as golden reels, 5 out of 5s, and this can always change for these top 3s right here. But we're going to go with the now, and I can't even believe I'm saying this because Brad said perfectly best. No Time to Die shook things up in a major way, and I can't believe I'm saying this. Number 3 is Skyfall. And I love a great redemption story, and this one for Bond is a great redemption story. Judi Dench is great. Silva was amazing, and I just love just the entire story of just the rebuild Bond to being that badass Bond that we all know and love. But just this time around, I've noticed some things more towards the negative side, not by much. So that's why at number 3, I'm giving it to Skyfall, surprisingly.
That is a surprise.
And as I had alluded to before the video started, I thought that our rankings were probably going to be the same because I also have Skyfall at number 3 because it is the best of the bunch, save for the first and the last. So I mean, honestly, for all the reasons that you guys said, I mean, it's a great entry, but it's really not missing anything. It's just that the other 2 are more enjoyable for me anyway. I guess for you guys too. So yeah, Skyfall number 3, man. Come on. I bet the top 2 are going to be the same too. I think this is going to be unanimous all the way around. I almost guarantee it.
I don't know. We'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Brad, go ahead and start the tempo at number 2.
All right, number 2 for me is the newest guy to the crowd. That's going to be No Time to Die. It's going to be coming in here. Love the movie. Again, I've said a lot about it. It's a great character study on Bond. I think it's fantastic. You've seen our review at this point. Probably, we all freaking love the movie, and we got our full thoughts out there on that one. But yeah, I mean, I never expected it to be Skyfall, but it did for me. And again, like I just said, it's all about the character, baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and my number 2, this was extremely difficult to decide between because both of these movies are so damn good. But just for the time being, my number 2 is No Time to Die. Perfect conclusion to the Daniel Craig Bond era of the movie. It just tied everything up into a nice, good old bow. And but the only thing like negative, I don't have anything negative about the movie. It's just a little nitpick I have. I just wanted more De Armas. I just wanted more of that character. I know that's a foolish reason to try to distinguish between my number one and my number two, but guys, it's just that close of how fucking perfect these movies are. But my number two is No Time to Die.
As anticipated, my number two is also No Time to Die, which is
What I thought, I knew it. I knew before we even got into this fucking thing that it was all going to be the same. And the reason that I gave it a 4.75 was because I gave Casino Royale a 5. I think that it's the perfect. It's just so good, and that's the reason why I was like, do I like it as good as Casino Royale? And there's just it's just a tick below Casino Royale, and that's why I gave No Time to Die a 4.75. And I just like it, just for whatever reason, it just is not quite there, and that's why I did that in our review video. So I put No Time to Die as number 2, which.
All right,
Granted,
so I guess let's go ahead and talk about our number 1. Brad, what did you think about Casino Royale as number 1?
Well, granted, I just still think it's very impressive that No Time to Die made it number 2 for all of us. This is the first time we've seen the movie, and we've seen these other movies dozens of times. And for this movie to be here at this point is a shocker for me. I did not expect it to actually be everybody's number 2. But number 1 for me is Casino Royale, obviously. I think number 2. But yeah, Casino Royale just did it was so important to the franchise, right? Like if it weren't, Die Another Day took this franchise so far off the rails that like it probably never would have came back up again without a reboot to this magnitude. And it comes in, brings Daniel Craig in as Bond, tells a great fucking story for Bond's origin story. We get to see why he's as cold as he is and why, you know, he doesn't trust anybody and all this stuff all in this movie. And it does a great job of telling that story. And it's really his movie more so than any other of the 20 movies that came before it. And it just does such a great job with that. And he brings in such a Craig, I'm speaking of, brings in such a great performance in the movie that it just, you know, it solidifies itself as the number 1 movie for me in this franchise, not just for Craig. Yeah, man, nailed it.
My number 1 is Casino Royale. It's just, to me, it's not only a perfect Bond movie, it's just a perfect action movie. I absolutely love this movie so damn much. I would even put this like in my top 5 movies personally for me of all time. I love it that much. Love it that much with the recent rewatch, because mainly there's not one thing I would change about this movie, not even like a slightest thing. There's no mixes, there's no negatives, all of it positive, all the way to the damn roof. I just love everything about this movie. Daniel Craig was perfectly cast for this type of Bond that we get in this movie. Judi Dench was great. Eva Green as Vesper was great. We got a very badass, cool feeling. I love the whole story. It's just perfect, guys. So number 1 is Casino Royale.
Yeah, I mean, I think for all of us, for all the same reasons, and that kind of feeds into it for me as well, where I was very skeptical going to see it because of all the backlash for the Daniel Craig casting and all that shit. And so it was great to see that not only was it a near perfect movie, but it was also, you know, people shut up really quickly about Daniel Craig because he absolutely slayed the role. The story was great. It was very much a character study, just like we talked about in our review about these. It was such a good blend of brutality and vulnerability, and seeing how rugged this character was, and you know exactly what made him that way. The action is great. The score is great. The story, the villain, the female lead, everything is there. It's the perfect Bond movie, really. And so it couldn't be topped. You know what I mean? So that's why it's number 1, I think, for all of us.
That's it. We're done. Daniel Craig Bond review series is officially over. And before we officially close the chapter of this review series, let's take a quick recap to our ranking, which is pretty much the same, but we're just still going to do it anyway. Here are our rankings.
How crazy is that, man? I did not expect. First of all, I thought Bert's number one was going to be Skyfall, at least over Casino.
I thought so too.
At the very least, even if No Time to Die took the cake, I thought he would still have Skyfall over Casino Royale after all that we talked about in the reviews, man. So I really thought that was going to be the case, and I thought I was going to be the only mofo throwing Spectre in last place. I did not see this coming. I did not see this coming.
I knew this was coming. I knew somehow. I was like, it's going to be the same. I just had a feeling.
Should have planned ahead.
All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and close out this Daniel Craig Bond review series. So, guys, what did you all think about our ranking for the Daniel Craig Bond era? Do you agree with our list, or is your list different? Because we are always curious about seeing a different, unique list. We really get a joy out of it. Let us know in the comment section down below. Let's get that discussion rolling.
And if you want to help us find the good reels, you can do so by finding us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, Snapchat, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and TikTok. Those links are going to be in the description if you find them. Well,
the freaking martini shaken not stirs are really kicking in now, so I gotta get us out here before it's gonna just completely lose control. Be sure to like us on I was about to do Brad's side. Be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe. Of course, ring that bell, ding ding ding, so you know when the next video is up and ready.
We're gonna see you guys soon. Bond will be back on the channel. Just wait. We'll get to Roger Moore at some point. Bye.
Oh, yeah.
Good night.
Yes. And the Sean Connery there.
Absolutely.